walks you through beginning the installation starting from page 51. So I'm going to go to my server 2. I have this prepared already in my virtual system, and that's what you should have as well. I need to, if you're running the CD, if you're running with the CD from the back of the book, you can just go ahead and start by powering it on and point the installation to your CD, or it should boot to your CD. If not, you need to edit virtual settings, which is what I'm going to do because I am installing off an ISO image, and I need to point to where that location is. So we got Windows Server 2012. This is where I'm saving my files. Okay, in my virtual settings, I just want to make sure that we have Windows and Windows Server 2012 selected. And then when you go over to the hardware, if you're running this, if you go to the CD, DVD, this is where you could, if you're using the CD, do auto detect with your CD-ROM. And I am not. I'm using an ISO. So I need to make sure I point to where my ISO is located. And then, OK. And then I'm going to power on or play my virtual system for server 2 and click in the environment, and it should start installing the files for my server from the ISO. So here we go. At this point, we see a progress bar. So on page 52, we're following along, either installing it from an ISO or a DVD. And the first installation window should come up. And here we go. So we are, see if these instructions, English, US, yes, okay. Next. That was our first installation window. Now these go back to click next. These go back to the figure 2.1 on page 48, and then we go on to page 49. So I'm going to install now. I haven't done an installation. That's step 3 on page 52 for my server 2, my 410 server 2. Next window will ask for a product key, so I'll have to jump over and grab my product key real quick. Okay, I entered my product key. This was the same key that I used for my server 1, and that's fine for this environment. And if you're using the CD, it should not ask you for that because you have a 180-day evaluation period. Also, at the beginning of the chapter, just so you know, if you're using the CD, in the before you begin activities, you can, oh, let me see if I can find the page. You can reset the 180-day trial up to 3 or 4 times. And the process for this is explained in the beginning of the chapter in the before you begin activities. I don't know the exact page, but you'll have to look at if you need that option. So if your 180 days expires and you need more time, then you can reset the option. It's at the beginning, somewhere at the beginning. Anyway, so here we go. We're going to install server with a GUI, not the core installation. So for server 2, we're going to install with a GUI. And that matches step 4 on page 52 and also the picture, the figure on page 49. So we'll hit next. And then the next thing that should come up is the custom. So we're going to do a custom license agreement. Yes, this may or may not come up depending on which version you're using. Accept the license agreement. we want to do, so step 5, click the option to accept the license agreement, done, and then click next. In the next window, click custom install for advanced. And in here, this is where we can manipulate our drive partitions. So we want to do this carefully. I'm going to read, if you simply click next, Windows uses select drive 0 unallocated space. Okay, that's what we set up in our virtual system. If you need to adjust that to 20, that's probably fine as well. Then we're going to hit next. And continue with the installation. So once it goes through this installation process, we'll put in our password. And again, make sure you write this down. I'm using the default passwords on my system, capital PASSWORD01 for server 2 and server 1. And I'm going to pause I will let you know how long this takes. Right now it's 10:53. I'll let this run while it's going. And this may take probably about 30 minutes or so to get through this process. So I would recommend, while this is going, not to do anything else in the background. Just let it go so that it doesn't conflict with anything. So I'll pick up once my installation gets to a new screen. So right now, 10:54 a.m. And I'll give you a time in 1 second when I pick it up. Okay, it took about 20 minutes to get to this screen to do the install. Now I stopped it at 10:53 and it's over an hour later, but I had to go pick my son up from school. So I am at the password screen. This is where we enter in our password, step 8 on page 52. So I'm going to put in my default password so I don't forget that, PAS. And there's my username. Now you may have to scroll down on your virtual system, so I'm doing that, and I'll hit finish. And then we are logged in. Now remember, to get logged into this screen, Control-Alt-Delete, that takes me out of VMware, so I'm going to hit exit and then get back in there. And actually there is it Control? There's an option that will get you in there with VM Player. Maybe that's what it says. Control-Alt-Insert will do Control-Alt-Delete inside of VM Player. So here I'll put in my password. And our next activity is setting the date, time, and time zone, and setting up static IP address. So here is our server manager, and you're ready to go with the installation. I'm going to stop here and let you pick up with activity 2-2. Make sure you read the assignment because it'll tell you what activities to do, but you are ready to start activity 2-2 at this point. So we've gone in, we've loaded server manager. So on page 53, it's step. We've connected the 410 server. We log in as administrator. When server manager starts, click local server and click the time zone. So you're just going to go through and configure for this server for activity 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. Oh, I'll pick up with 2.4 because I had gotten a few emails that people were having problems. So with this video, go ahead and finish 2.2, 2.3 on your own, and then submit the required documentation for this